Welcome to the Classic Soap Operas podcast.
Today, we're going to talk about a show it burned so bright and then just poof, vanished. I'm talking about Love is a Many Splendored Thing. Now, this thing started out as a spin-off of an Oscar-winning movie created by a soap opera legend. But let me tell you, its real story is a wild ride of conflict, chaos, and controversy. You really have to hear this to believe it. And that really is the big question here, isn't it? This show was a trailblazer from day one. It pushed every boundary it could find. And that led to some incredible highs, but also a pretty spectacular flameout. So how does a show with this kind of prestigious start end up, fighting for its life right out of the gate? Okay, so let's get into it. The show's origin story is, wow, it's ambitious. This wasn't just some run-of-the-mill soap. Nope. It was a direct sequel to the 1955 Oscar-winning movie, Love is a Many Splendored Thing. The plan was to follow the film's daughter, Mia Elliott. She's this Amerasian woman, a doctor, making her way in San Francisco. I mean, for daytime TV in the 1960s, that is incredibly progressive. And here you can see the problem in a nutshell. This was the fundamental clash that basically sealed the show's fate from the very beginning. Over here, you've got the vision from the legendary creator, Erna Phillips. She wanted this progressive, powerful story about an interracial romance, and she was even planning a subplot about a botched abortion. But then, over here, you have the network reality. CBS censors back in 1967 were just terrified, absolutely terrified of the controversy they knew these topics would stir up. So, as you can imagine, this whole thing came to a head and fast. Erna Phillips, she just refused to back down. She wasn't going to compromise her story. So what did she do? She quit. She walked away from her own show just a few months after it started. And then, in a move that is just wild, the network erased her main character, Mia Elliott, completely. Poof, gone, never spoken of again. Okay, so with that entire original idea thrown out the window, the new writers had to pivot, and boy, did they pivot hard. They basically refocused the whole show on a classic, super fiery love triangle. You had two sisters, Iris and Laura Donnelly, going at it over the same guy. And to get viewers hooked, they went for the most sensational, over-the-top storylines they could think of. And look at this. It shows you exactly what happened. The crazy thing is, the chaos worked. People were hooked. The ratings just shot through the roof, climbing all the way from 11th place to a peak at number 5 in the 69-70 season. It was simple, really. The more shocking and wild the show got, the more people tuned in. And when I say shocking, I am not kidding. Just look at this timeline, and this is just a taste of the madness. We're talking plane crashes that cause blindness, murder trials that lead to miscarriages and nervous breakdowns, custody battles that turn into kidnappings, a main character gets cured by experimental laser surgery, a disturbed kid commits arson, and yes, even a drunken graping that results in a secret baby, blackmail, and political drama. It was just a non-stop, relentless barrage of pure high-stakes chaos. This was the show's golden age, for sure. But while all that drama was playing out on screen, there was a whole different kind of chaos brewing behind the scenes. See, the show just couldn't hang on to its actors. The original stars who made that love triangle so popular, I'm talking about people like Donna Mills and David Burney, they started to leave. And that kicked off this constant and frankly really confusing cycle of recasting characters. And if you want to know just how unstable it got, just look at the lead male character, Mark Elliott. This guy, the man at the absolute center of the show's biggest plot, was played by 5 different actors in just a couple of years. Can you even imagine that? Tuning in and seeing a brand new face for your favorite character practically every single season? It's nuts. And yeah, it wasn't just Mark. This table here really lays out the whole problem. You can see major characters like Laura, Iris, and Spencer, all played by different actors over and over. This kind of constant change, this instability, it makes it really tough for an audience to stay invested, It was a huge warning sign that things were getting rocky behind the scenes. So, eventually it all had to come to an end. You had the constant cast changes, then they moved the show to a tougher time slot. It was up against giants like General Hospital and Another World, and the ratings just started to slide. That golden age of chaos, well, it just couldn't last forever. And this chart right here, it shows the drop-off pretty clearly. From that amazing peak rating of 9.5, the show tumbled all the way down to a 7.1 in its final season. That's a fall from 5th place in the ratings down to 14th. For CBS, well, the writing was definitely on the wall. And sure enough, the official announcement came down. After 5.5 years and more than 1,400 episodes, the roller coaster was officially over. But the show had one last totally incredible surprise up its sleeve for the viewers. This is so cool. In the very last moments of the very last episode, the veteran actor Judson Lair, who played Dr. Will Donnelly, he steps out of character. He looks right at the camera, breaks that fourth wall, and speaks directly to everyone watching at home. He acknowledged the show as being canceled and just thanked the fans for being so loyal. It was this beautiful, heartfelt, and totally unique goodbye that has become the stuff of legend for soap fans. But, the final tragedy of this show, it actually happened after it went off the air. Its legacy isn't just about the controversy and the crazy storylines. It's about something that has been, well, almost completely erased from time. Think about this number for a second. 1,430 episodes. That is a massive amount of television, all created over 5.5 years. And this chart, wow, it just tells the whole devastating story. Back then, it was common practice to wipe and reuse expensive videotapes to save money. And because of that, nearly every single one of those episodes, they're just gone, wiped forever. We're talking less than 1% of the show's entire run still exists today. It's truly one of television's great lost treasures. So you might be asking, why does this lost, chaotic show even matter today? Well, because its legacy is all about what it pioneered. It was one of the very first daytime shows to prove that there was this huge audience of younger viewers out there. It basically paved the way for future hits like All My Children. And it totally changed the sound of soaps, getting rid of that old, stuffy organ music and bringing in modern jazz and pop. Those were innovations that literally changed the genre forever. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What if Erna Phillips had been allowed to tell her original, groundbreaking story? Or what if the whole series had been saved so we could watch it today? How might TV history be different? It's just a fascinating thing to think about for a show where the off-screen drama was every bit as wild as what we saw on screen. Hey, if you enjoyed diving back into this classic with me, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. And definitely let us know down in the comments what classic soap we should break down next. Thanks for watching!